Yes, guys, welcome back to my YouTube and my new segment, Come Dine with Drew. Yeah? No.
No, go for it.
Diners, Drive-ins and Drews?
What?
Diners, Drive-ins and Drews?
Are you speaking English?
Come Dine with Drew. So what we're going to do on Come Dine with Drew, and Driz, occasionally, if she stops taking piss out of me and gets involved, is various food challenges, which will include travels. Sometimes to feature challenges and sometimes to feature good food, because I'm not going to lie, I'm not that good or optimistic at eating large volumes of food, partially because I'm a bit more sensible in my old age and also got an umbilical hernia / other hernias. So it's also just going to be general cooking, contest prep cooking, off-season cooking, full meal plans. So what we're going to do today, we're actually a week out today. We're on a little bit of a higher carb day. So I'm just going to cook a couple of my meals. I use the term cook in the loosest possible form, which is the other reason that I wanted to show you this, because it's really not cooking, but it's a very effective way of preparing your meals in this day and age. So this is how I cook my two main meals, excuse me, every day. But I do 4 meals total. So I get 2 of each, which just makes life a little bit easier, which is always important when you're on prep and you're food prepping every day. So we start with the air fryer, two compartments, a little bit of foil in there, which makes cleaning a little bit easier, and a little bit of 1 cal. So generally my meal free post-workout meal is chicken, and then meal 4 is salmon. So I do them both at the same time. So what we've got there is 500 grams of salmon. That will do me for 2 meals. So, because I buy this big salmon side, which I find a little bit better, I just immediately cut that into like the fillets that you would generally get. There's not generally much bone on it, but if you get any bone on there, just take it off. Has that stopped that video? So I cut this 500 gram piece into 4 fillets, and then I cut each of them into 4 because it just cooks much better when I do it that way. And then I know with my meals as well, I just do 8 pieces per meal. I like my salmon quite well done, so it cooks it much easier that way. Quite bony, that bit. You pull your bones out. There's another one there. There we go. So that's all the salmon cut up. So I've been using this for years. I always recommend this to people. Schwartz seasonal, very low carb. I use about 10 grams on 2 meals. So even the small amount of carb that's in it doesn't add much. And then we just give that a stir. And I just leave the skin facing up so it doesn't stick as much, and it cooks the skin nice and crispy then. Hello.
Hello.
You okay?
Yeah. Hello.
Evie, come on, Bob.
I don't know what you want.
What is that? Nice. Right, so that's the salmon there. Give this a quick rinse. Rinse and clean. Then we'll do the same for the chicken. So what I've got for chicken is 600 grams, which gets me 2 300-gram meals. Same again. Cut it into chunks so it just cooks a little bit better. Perfect. So the seasoning that I use for the chicken is actually one that I found at Costco, but I have also just ordered it off Amazon as well. So you can get that on Amazon. It's a bit of a garlic one. Sea salt, pepper, garlic, the blend. They do really good steak ones, but I find this blend one, just run out, is nice on my chicken. Although Eliza did start to complain a little bit that I was eating a bit too many garlic-based spices. But when on prep, kind of is what it is sometimes. There we go. So then what I do, I pop both of these in just on standard air fry for 15 minutes each. And while they're cooking, I'm just going to show you how I do the other bits. So I'll add 4 asparagus spears to each of those meals. You can pretty much add as much asparagus as you want, but it does get a little bit expensive as well. Because these are so skinny, I'm going to have a couple more. But fruit and veg, even to a bodybuilder, is very important for micronutrients, gut health, digestion, general health. So what I'll do with that, straight in a lunchbox, a little bit of water, pop the lid on, and I'll just steam those in a lunchbox for 1.5 minutes. There we go. And then the other component to the meal is just microwave rice. I always pick one of the more plain ones. This one in particular is 98% rice, a little bit of sunflower oil in that, but that 2%, for the sake of the convenience, when it comes to cooking and splitting up big batches of rice, I find that significantly easier to manage. And then one of those meals has got an apple and 100 grams of pineapple. Probably do 200 grams of pineapple with that meal today. So we'll leave that to cook for 15 minutes. That'll do the chicken. And then I like to just put the salmon back in on max crisp for another 10 minutes because I just like it really well done. Right, so we're just about done with the first round of cooking. Chicken, nice and cooked. So like I said, I just like a little bit extra on my salmon. So while we're cremating the salmon, I'm just going to chuck one of the rices in. This is actually a sticky rice or jasmine rice. Makes a big difference helping the meals go down. Not that they need much help at this point on prep. I'm still recording. Minute and a half. So we've got our steamed asparagus now. 2 meals worth there. So I'll divide this chicken up. Like I said, 600 grams. I'll just split it straight in half. I always weigh food uncooked. It is extremely inaccurate to weigh food cooked, so I never recommend it that way. I know that's a little bit of a debate that goes off, but I will not be debated on that. For example, if you have 300 grams of chicken, which you know has got 60 grams of protein, you could cook that many different ways. The cooked weight would be different. However, the protein would remain the same. Therefore, cooked weight is inaccurate. So for me, always stick to uncooked weight. So that extra chicken meal, I'll just let that cool down and I'll chuck that in the fridge for tomorrow. And then I will just repeat the process tomorrow with the rice and the asparagus fresh. So we're on a full bag of rice today, which is amazing and very welcomed. So 300 grams of chicken, which is 60 grams of protein, a full pack of rice, which is 100 grams of carbs, and 6 asparagus spears, and a little bit of light soy. There we go. Then I'll just cut all that up. So far today, I did 45 minutes cardio, and then I had my first meal, which is normally my post-workout meal, but I generally have a higher day as a rest day, so I just move my post-workout shake, which is normally whey and oats. I move that to my first meal, and I just cook porridge oats, and I add whey to them. So as you can see, that is a very easy way of meal prepping. 10 minutes. So there we've got 60 protein, 100 gram of carbs, and an apple for that meal. And then I will just repeat the same for the salmon meal once that's finished cooking. Right, guys, that should be the salmon, nicely cooked and crisped, which it is. So like I said, 8 pieces. Oh, it's falling apart. 2. It's all falling apart. Obviously, we have to make sure we get every last gram of protein. So, same again. We've got those 2 meals for tomorrow on the back burner over there. The rice that we've just microwaved. Add that to the salmon. Our asparagus that we steamed. And then a little bit of soy again. Give that all a good mix up again. Yeah, you can hear how crispy that salmon is. Crispy skin. Again, that's another one, about a 50 gram of protein, 100 gram of carb, and then we've got the bit of pineapple in there. So how easy was that? So that's meal 3 and meal 4 cooked in about 10-15 minutes. And we've also got the 2 meals on the back burner ready for tomorrow. The meal after that it's always 200 gram of steak and 2 whole eggs. Today we're going to add 100 gram or 2 pieces of sourdough to that. And then the final meal will be exactly the same as normal. 60 grams of whey with 30 grams of peanut butter. The totals for today, the high day, are about 380 protein, 500 carbs and about 100 grams of fat, which comes in at about 4,500 calories, which is 1,500 over my normal base. So there you go. Quick little bit of food prep in the kitchen. Come dine with Drew. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll keep making these videos. Stay tuned for some more exciting off-season stuff very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.